We're on again. I'd like to talk again about herbs. We spoke last time about the difference between herbs and pharmacological medicines. I'd like to talk a little about the amazing ability of the herb to work with the person rather than do the effect on the person. And it's based on a study, a major study, actually the biggest herbal study ever perpetrated in the history of civilization from a scientific point of view, was done in Russia many years ago. It was probably in the 60s, when Russia was the Soviet Union and had many countries as part of it. And they did a study on an herb that's indigenous to their area called Siberian ginseng, or Eleutherococcus is the Latin. And they found that people took it and they claimed they had better stamina, they were more relaxed. So they wanted to study this herb in different situations that the military would find themselves in, be it battle or training or even rest and relaxation. So what they did was they developed a study that was a double-blind placebo study where they gave half of the military this herb, Siberian ginseng, and the other half got a placebo. And when they got the results together, they were dumbfounded with how effective this was at balancing one particular organ that is known as the adrenal glands. It balanced the adrenals. When people were very stressed out and the adrenals were overpumping adrenaline and cortisol into the system, when they took this herb, it calmed them down. It helped the adrenals to work more efficiently. But there were many cases where they'd been in high-stress situations for long periods of time. The body was pumping out adrenaline and cortisol for too long, and the adrenals just turned off. They would become what we call exhausted, or exhausted adrenals. They found that when they took this herb, it strengthened the adrenals and became better at predicting how they responded to stress. When they took this herb, they responded appropriately to stress. The adrenals would cut off at a certain point when it should, rather than stay pumping adrenaline. And when they looked at the study, they said, it's amazing. It works differently for different people, but it has a balancing effect. And the experimenter called this quality adaptogenic. It has the ability to adapt according to the individual. And we found many herbs that we use today that have that same adaptogenic effect for different organ systems, such as hawthorn berry for the heart. People can take it for high blood pressure. They can take it for all kinds of different cardioactive problems, and it seems to have a balancing but yet harmless effect. And one important thing that I think we need to mention is when they took the herb apart to find what was the active ingredient in it, which is of course what we do with Western medicine, what created that effect, the parts of the herbs that we usually look at had nothing to do with it. We call those the alkaloids. They're more the poisonous part that creates the effects that a lot of pharmacological agents use. But it was the sugar molecule, what they call the glycosides, that helped the body have this effect, which we used to throw out with the dishwater. It was like, that can't be useful. Now we're finding that's the part of the plant which is very gentle, has no side effects, but yet miraculously works with the body to create the effect. So you can learn more, you can look at the book that I wrote, the herbal book, but I find this fascinating and I just wanted to share this with you.